Let's go. First, what the fuck is Abkhazia? The Republic of Abkhazia. Don't care if it's partially recognized. The people there thinks that they are their own country. It is their own country. Fuck everyone else. It's a beautiful flag though, like. Damn. Okay. Only by 5 states. Russia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Nauru. You see, why the fuck is it here? I read about this last night. It was pretty fucking funny. This is for a 50 million aid package from Russia. Yeah, they be doing whatever, bro. Nauru. Yeah, they need that money. Get that back, you know what I'm saying, Nauru? Who gives a fuck? And then Syria. Crazy. Upsney. It's a nice name. Land of the soul. Yeah, listening to this music, I can feel my soul. Alright, it's a lot of fucking words. A lot of fucking words. Good history right there. Let's watch a video on it, so I don't gotta do all this. We're in Abkhazia right now. First, we gotta learn about the history. From this, I can see what all this. It's kind of crazy. I learned about this one. 250,000 kicked away. I have not made up my mind about whether it's okay to kick people out. You know what I'm saying? When they were the ones who came in first. And how long is the time allowed? I have not made up my mind. I have not. Yo, Edward, welcome back. We just started with learning about Abkhazia. You know what they say salam to? It's kinda cool. I better watch some videos on that shit. Cause this is a lot of fucking words. Abkhazia history. You see, I don't like this. Cause it's like they're talking about Abkhazia in the context of Georgia and Russia. I don't give a fuck. The main character here is Abkhazia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at all these videos, bro. They're all talking about, oh, if it's this, it's this. Now, this is a good video. Even though they say it's fucking Georgian history.
Abkhazia today is an autonomous region of the country of Georgia. In
You see,
720 AD, it held much.
this is already counter-revolutionary. I don't like this. Let me get back. See if I can find. Oh, okay. Episode 1.
Hello.
I like that.
Do wider countries exist? Episode 1. Abkhazia.
Abkhazia. Okay.
So the first country on
Like
our
the
list
music
is
there.
Abkhazia. Now if you try to look for Abkhazia on the map, and you live anywhere but Russia, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Nauru, or Syria, it's going to be very hard to find. Those 5 UN members are the only ones in the world who consider Abkhazia to really be a country. For most of the
Abkhazia.
world, and especially if you live in the country of Georgia, you will view Abkhazia as little more than a Russian puppet state and territory occupied by the Russians.
Damn.
Abkhazia is located in the Caucasus, right on the border between Europe and the Middle East, with it bordering Russia to the north, Georgia to the east, and the Black Sea to the west. It is mostly made up of the Abkhaz ethnic group, a northwest Caucasian-speaking people who mainly speak the Abkhaz language and are majority Eastern Orthodox. Within Abkhazia, it's also important to note a significant minority of Georgians, Russians, and Armenians living in the country, and making up 46% of the country's population. In 1993, Abkhazia, once a part of the Soviet Republic of Georgia, broke away with the help of the Russians, and the debate over its sovereignty and legitimacy as a state has been going on ever since. If you go anywhere on the internet where Abkhazia is mentioned,
It's
you'll
the
likely
one between Georgia and Russia. Let me show you on the map. Oh, I can't. Abkhazia. Right here.
a debate in the comments. It's a very sensitive topic, especially because the history of the region is filled with ethnic violence. Now, in order to tell the story of Abkhazia, I really have to start off by saying almost everything I say really is debated. Abkhaz and Georgian history of the region varies wildly, even so far as to the extent as some Georgians will not consider the Abkhaz to be a separate ethnic group, but rather as a group of Georgians who speak a separate language. This is mainly because Georgians are a very diverse set of people with many regional variations. I hope to explain more in my Georgia episode, so please stick around for that. So just keep that in mind when I talk about the origins of the country.
Different groups of
The
thinking.
Abkhaz
Some
ethnic
want to
origins
be
are
Russia,
loosely based
some
on
want to
several
be
Northwest
independent.
Caucasian-speaking
That's
tribes
what's
united
hard
into
about
one
these type
single
of
ethnic
territory
group.
shit.
Although when they settled in Abkhazia
People have
debated,
their own
Abkhaz historians generally say that they
minds,
moved into the region
which is
out
good,
before
but
the 8th century. In 1778,
hey,
the Kingdom of Abkhazia
what can
was
you
formed
do?
with it controlling what is now Abkhazia, along with most of eastern Georgia, and at times even parts of Russia and Turkey. The kingdom is a part of the debated history, with Abkhaz historians saying that it was formed from various Abkhaz tribes banding together, while Georgian historians will say it was formed by a part of the Georgian nobility, and that the majority of the population was ethnically Georgian. The kingdom and the region itself was fairly multi-ethnic and multicultural, with it almost certainly having large minority groups within the kingdom, making it difficult to find a single uniting culture. Regardless, the kingdom is used by the Abkhaz as kind of a justification for statehood, and something that they can point to in their past and go, see, we were a state once, so now we
They
should
got
be
a
a state
national
again.
myth. That's
What is
good.
known about the kingdom is that it was formed from
First
local
step of
lords who
nationalism.
revolted against the rule of the Byzantines in the region. The Byzantines, or the Eastern Roman Empire, based around the city of Constantinople, were suffering from Arab invasions. The region that would become the kingdom of Abkhazia was left to fend for themselves against the Arab assault. However, stubborn resistance stopped the Arabs from taking the northern Caucasus, and the local lords consolidated their power, gaining their independence. They strengthened the local Georgian Orthodox Church over the Constantinople-based Greek Orthodox Church by promoting the use of the Georgian language during church, as opposed to Greek, helping establish the Georgian Orthodoxy's independence. The kingdom reached its height during the reign of George II in the mid-900s, reaching its cultural and territorial peak. Future kings after George would struggle maintaining the kingdom, with civil wars and rebellions breaking out for the remainder of the 900s. In 1008, the Kingdom of Abkhazia and the southern Bagrationi dynasty merged together to form the United Kingdom of Georgia. The region will be ruled by several different Georgian kingdoms from the 11th through the 16th century, until the Ottomans came and took power. They would convert many in the region to Islam and would hold influence over the region until the early 19th century, when the Russians came and kicked them out. Abkhazia would hold autonomy within the Russian Empire until the 1860s and 70s, when a Russification campaign was launched throughout the Caucasus to try and strengthen Russia's influence in the region. This debatedly constituted a genocide against several different ethnic groups in the region, but most importantly to Abkhazia, led to many Abkhaz and especially Abkhaz Muslims to leave the region. Interestingly enough, it is believed there are more Abkhaz outside of Abkhazia, mainly in Turkey, than in it. This depopulation in Abkhazia is where things start to get tricky again. With the depopulation, many Georgians and Russians started entering the region. It is debated what the population was, but it is fair to say that the Georgians and the Abkhaz were both the largest ethnic groups and were relatively close to each other. In the 1897 census, the first census taken in the Russian Empire, the Abkhaz formed a majority of the population at 55%. This time period led to increasing strain between the two communities, as both had to deal with not only fighting each other for influence, but also the Russian authorities who worked to promote the spread of the Russian language and culture. With the fall of the Russian Empire, the ensuing chaos of the Russian Civil War allowed many ethnic groups to attempt to separate from Russia and form their own communities. In 1918, an independent Georgia was declared with the controlling the state of Abkhazia. This state wouldn't last long, however, as in 1921, the Red Army invaded, taking control of most of the Georgian state. Georgia was made into what is known as a Union Republic. Now, Union Republics were the main administrative division within the Soviet Union, similar to how states are for America. However, Abkhazia was placed into an odd administrative unit known as the Socialist Soviet Republic of Abkhazia, or SSR Abkhazia. SSR Abkhazia was technically a part of Georgia, but as a treaty republic, it held a huge degree of autonomy within Georgia, but they were still theoretically united. What this means in practical terms is Abkhazia was mostly independent from Georgia, with the Abkhaz communist Nestor Lokeyev
So it's an
leading
autonomous
the state.
region
This,
within
of
an
course, leads to more debate
autonomous
between
region?
Georgian and Abkhaz historians, with pro-Abkhaz historians pointing to this independence as another example of an independent Abkhazia. Pro-Georgian historians will say, on the other hand, that simply because they had autonomy doesn't change the fact that both nations were still technically united, and argue from the start they were planned on being joined together. It's important to note that regardless of if Abkhazia was independent or if it was controlled by Georgia, the communists were running the show in Moscow. Nothing happened in the country unless it suited the Soviet needs specifically, and often that meant pitting the Abkhaz and Georgians against each other to prevent them from uniting against the Soviets. During the time period, SSR Abkhazia promoted the Abkhaz language and culture despite the Abkhaz now being a minority. However, this wouldn't last, as by 1931, Soviet authorities had changed their minds on how things should be run in Abkhazia. With initial resistance to Joseph Stalin's collectivization policies from the Abkhaz population and its unclear status worrying Soviet authorities, the region was downgraded. SSR Abkhazia was dissolved, with the Abkhaz Autonomous Socialist Soviet Republic, or Abkhaz ASSR, was formed, with the region now being subservient to the Georgian Soviet Socialist Republic. It is also important to note that Stalin was an ethnic Georgian, and many Abkhaz historians point to his ethnicity as a reason from downgrading Abkhazian self-rule. This led to the autonomy that the Abkhaz had to be swept away and the start of a second wave of Georgians, Russians, and Armenians entering the region. In 1926, the total population of the region was 201,000. Georgians had a plurality at 34% of the population, while the Abkhaz made up 27% of the population, with the Armenians at 13% and the
Is
Russians
that
at 7%.
gentrification?
By 1959, the population was almost 405,000. Georgians were 39% of the population, with Russians making up 21%, the Armenians at 16%, while the Abkhaz only made up 15%. Georgification of the region increased until the death of Stalin in 1952, where some policies were relaxed. Eventually, before the fall of the Soviet Union in 1989, the population reached its peak at a little over 500,000 people. Georgians made up 45% of the population, while the Abkhaz were at 18%. The Abkhaz began to fear that a post-Soviet Georgia would mean the end of autonomy within the Georgian state, and tensions began to mount. Georgia became independent in 1991, with the Abkhaz protesting the newly formed state by boycotting the independence referendum that was held in March of that year. Conflict would spring up in the context of a civil war throughout Georgia. The first president of Georgia, Zviad Gamsakhurdia, was overthrown in a coup in 1992 after being accused of corruption and authoritarianism, with this leading to fighting between the supporters of
Big news.
Gamsakhurdia and the new nationalistic Georgian government. Gamsakhurdia had previously promised Abkhazia and the two other autonomous areas of Georgia, South Ossetia and Adjura, that independence for them would remain. In August, Georgian government troops moved into the region to attempt to restore order after tensions in the Abkhaz capital Sukhumi boiled over, resulting in the Abkhaz political leaders declaring independence. Georgian troops initially took over most of the country, but the Abkhaz managed to push them back with assistance from the Armenians and the Russian population of the region, along with volunteers from other parts of the Caucasus sympathetic to the Abkhaz cause, and most importantly, the Russian government. The Russian government recognized that by giving the Abkhaz their own semi-independent state, they could maintain control in the region, check Georgian power, protect ethnic Russians in the region from potential Georgian reprisals, and establish military bases along the Black Sea. By 1993, fighting was over with the new Abkhaz government holding most of the region except the northeast corner of Abkhazia, which was mainly populated by Georgians. The aftermath of the war would result in dramatic demographic change. Abkhazia's population was cut in half, with there only being a little over 215,000 residents in the region in 2001. It is believed that 200,000 Georgians left the region during the war, although it is believed some did come back, with another 30,000 dying during violence in the region. It is also believed another 4,000 Abkhaz died in the region from Georgian government troops, and an unclear number of Russians and Armenians either dying or leaving the region. The demographics had changed so much that the former minority Abkhaz now made up a plurality of 44% of the population, while Georgians now made up only 21% of the population in 2001. The last census taken in the region, in 2011, showed the Abkhaz finally reaching majority with 51% of the population, while the Georgians had fallen to 19%. Many Georgians argue that what took place in the 90s constitutes as an ethnic cleansing. Many of the refugees struggled to find a new place in Georgia, and those that attempted to move back to Abkhazia struggle today with Abkhaz authorities treating them as second-class citizens. Many have pointed to the fact that it's easier to cross from Abkhazia into Georgia than the other way around, as an example of Abkhaz authorities attempting to discriminate against the Georgians, who may have family across the border, or may have to leave the country for work. The Abkhaz government in turn suggests that had the Abkhaz been unable to defend themselves, that the Abkhaz would have been ethnically cleansed, and many of the policies that are currently in place are used primarily to protect the Abkhaz ethnic identity. After the war in the 90s, violence between Georgian militias and the Abkhaz government would regularly flare on and off until 2008, in the wider context of a war between Russia and its ally South Ossetia, which had also broken off from Georgia in the 90s, against Georgia. Abkhaz commandos, aided by Russian forces, took the last land claim by the Abkhaz government, the Kordori Gorge in the northeast. Since then, violence between the two governments has been limited, and while things are still tense, it is expected to remain peaceful for the foreseeable future.
I wonder what's going on now. Now that Georgian government is kind of pro-Russian. Would they just meet in the middle and just give Abkhaz, independence?
Especially with the presence of Russian peacekeepers there to ensure Georgia gets no ideas on retaking any land from the Abkhazian government. After the war, the countries listed at the start officially recognized Abkhazia, much to the protest of most of the world, as a country. Abkhazia still doesn't have a seat in the UN, but it does currently hold a seat in the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, or the UNPO. Also, interestingly enough, Washington, D.C. is also a member of
Why the fuck is the Washington, D.C. in there?
Other unrecognized states of South Ossetia, Transnistria, and the Republic of Artsakh. The rest of the world considers Abkhazia to be little more than a Russian puppet state. This sentiment is even shared to a certain extent in Abkhazia itself, with many in the country seemingly preferring being under the Russian control rather than Georgian rule. In 2014, opposition parties stormed the office of the president of Abkhazia, Alexander Abkhazia. This was due to Georgians living in Abkhazia receiving Russian passports, but also the increased presence of Russian and Russian businesses in the state after the 2008 war. Abkhazia resigned, and the new president, Paul Kijamba, was elected, who suffered a similar fate to his predecessor after winning a disputed election in 2019. New elections were called for in March 22nd of 2020, with the opposition leader Aslan Bizani being elected. So why does Abkhazia exist? Abkhazian history has always been affected by outside forces. The international community decides the fate of Abkhazia, and often when talking about the state, the thoughts of the people in the country are secondary to the people outside of it. Abkhazia has often been compared to the state of Kosovo. I want to spend an episode talking about what
They should only consider the people of Abkhazia when it comes to their own fucking self-determination and shit, man. This is what they always do. They just don't care about the people there. That's what happened to Palestine. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's see some of the videos that's been curated by
around the world.
By the production team right here, as we step outside and take a look at Abkhazia.
The Republic of Abkhazia is a partially recognized independent state. Since the 6th century, the Abkhaz kingdom began to form, closely associated with Byzantium. Since the 15th century, the powerful Ottoman Empire began to press and influence the country, and in the 18th century the Russian Empire intervened in the situation, to protect against the Turks. By the Manifesto of Alexander I in 1810, the Abkhazian
clanker-ass voiceover, bro.
Principality was annexed to the Russian
That's
Empire.
what I'm saying.
With the transformation of Russia into the USSR, the status of Abkhazia also changed, either a Soviet republic, or autonomy within the Georgian SUR. With the collapse of the Soviet Union at the end of the 20th century, conflicts resumed. The Georgians considered that Abkhazia belonged to them, now independent, while the Abkhaz opposed that and the Georgians were driven out of their territory. In more recent history, these lands were colonized by the Greeks, then they were occupied by the Romans and partly by the Arabs.
They have a rich history,
Then,
that's
until
what
the
I can
15th
say.
century, these lands were part of the United Georgian Principalities. The concentration of centenarians in Abkhazia is incredibly high, and scientists have long been trying to unravel
Beautiful
this secret.
pines.
What has such a positive effect on local residents? And
Damn.
now no one knows for sure, but you will not surprise anyone with a 100th birthday here. Most of the world's centenarians, who have lived for more than 100 years, lived here.
Damn! Okay, they got a healthy ass people.
Are located in Abkhazia.
Holy shit, yeah, I gotta take a look at
The
that.
depths reach 2204 and 2197.
Nah. No. So let me go ahead and give the architecture a 10, bro. Holy fucking shit. What the fuck?
Meters respectively, and they are popular with cavers all over the world.
Damn!
Abkhazian nature already attracts many tourists, mainly from Russia, but many foreigners come here precisely for the sake of the caves. From the point of view of international law, Abkhazia is a partially recognized state. Its independence was recognized by 5 legitimate countries, as well as 4 unrecognized states. From the point of view of the Georgian authorities, the Abkhaz lands are part of Georgia. This republic demanded independence after the Abkhaz-Georgian conflict in 1992-1993, chose to flee, lived here in the USSR, and has a lot in common with Russia. A lot of Russians lived here in the USSR, most of whom later left, but the Russian language retained its official status along with Abkhaz. And the legal tender is the Russian legal.
Yeah.
Blacks
Holy
also live in
shit.
Abkhazia. They settled in the vicinity of the Koga River in the 17th-19th centuries, and now live compactly in several
Yeah,
villages.
when the American slaves
All
went
of
to
them are
Soviet.
descendants of immigrants from Africa, but no one still knows how the Africans climbed into the Caucasus Mountains and why. In fact, they did it.
Damn.
This is a very sunny region, and the number of cloudy days here does not exceed 130 annually. Considering that most of Abkhazia lies at an altitude of several kilometers above sea level, this entails an increased level of solar radiation.
Damn.
However, the local population, oddly enough, does not have problems like
I've seen a video about how the Russian elites, the Soviet elites back then, used to travel to Abkhazia a lot. Just like Crimea kind of thing.
diseases, which would be logical to expect in such conditions.
Hope they don't end up the same though.
Abkhazia in time immemorial, about 400 years ago, if not more.
Yeah, what the fuck is this building?
Are still observed here. Now on the territory of this partially recognized country, there are a number of small
Holy fucking shit!
enterprises producing 3 dozen brands of Abkhaz wines. And some ancient Roman historians called this area Dioscuria, calling it one of the centers of winemaking throughout the empire. It was from here that these drinks were delivered in large quantities to ancient Rome. The most popular fruits here are mandarins, which thrive in the local climate. A large
Sweeter in the cold area.
In the Russian markets are grown in Abkhazia. However, this was not always the case. For the first time, these fruits were brought here from Japan several centuries ago. There are many mountain rivers and valuable mineral springs. Moreover, among all
let's not
countries
talk
of the
about this
world,
one.
including recognized and unrecognized, Abkhazia ranks first in terms of fresh water reserves per capita. Subscribe to the channel.
Who the fuck is this? Holy shit. Damn.
Around the world, there are bits.
Take a look at this one. Wait, let's finish the history part and the politics.
In 2008, Russia and Georgia went to war, which sent shockwaves across the globe. It began as a regional escalation in South Ossetia, one of Georgia's 2 Russian-backed separatist regions, but quickly turned into a proper war. Soon, fighting also involved Abkhazia, Georgia's other separatist region. The confrontation only lasted for 5 days, and subsequently, Russian troops temporarily occupied parts of Georgia, while Georgia lost what little territory it still held in both South Ossetia and Abkhazia. Meanwhile, relations between Russia and the West worsened to a degree not seen since the Cold War. It also foreshadowed an even greater crisis that would unfold in Ukraine in 2014 and 2022. But who are the different parties involved in this conflict? Why did they fight? And how does the conflict between Russia and the West play into the situation? To find the answers, we first need to explore the history of this region. We'll begin our story in the 11th century, after the kingdom of Georgia emerged in the Caucasus region. Aside from the Georgians, who speak the distinct Kartvelian languages native to this region, there were also other ethnic groups present here, like the Abkhazians along the northern Black Sea coast, who despite speaking a completely different Caucasian language, played an integral role in the politics and culture of medieval Georgia. And there were the Ossetians or Alans, an Iranian people group who settled in the region probably around the 8th century and whose history also became intertwined with Georgia's. Remarkably, the Georgian kingdom managed to hold its own against the powerful empires of the time and even experienced a golden age, during which it dominated much of the Caucasus, becoming a stronghold of Eastern Orthodoxy.
Crazy
Things were going
buildings.
fairly well for the Georgians, until when the Mongols arrived in the early 13th century, Georgia was subject to a long period of devastation and subjugation. While the Mongols didn't break the Georgian state entirely, later invasions by other powers like the Turco-Mongol conqueror Timur would ultimately lead to the breakup of Georgia. Eventually, these little successor states fell under the influence of two Muslim powers, the Ottomans, who dominated the western regions along the Black Sea, and the Persian dynasties, who dominated the eastern parts. But things would change when a new power approached from the north, Russia. Between 1700 and 1800, the South Caucasus became a complicated Game of Thrones between Russians, Persians, Ottomans and local Georgian rulers. After some time, eastern Georgia became a Russian protectorate until 1800, when Russia annexed the kingdom. In the following decades, Russia would fight several wars against the Persians and Ottomans and take control over most of the Caucasus and the remaining Georgian populated areas. Subsequently, the various ethnic groups of Georgia developed different attitudes towards the new Russian overlords. The Ossetians were mostly supportive of the Russians, who had helped them in their struggles against their neighbors. The Georgians were initially opposed to direct Russian rule, but soon came to terms with the situation and their leaders integrated into the Russian nobility. The Abkhaz, however, like the Circassian relatives, were much more opposed to Russian expansion. Due to their resistance and the strategic importance of their homeland, they were soon forbidden to settle along the strategic Black Sea coast, which altered the region's demographics significantly.
Damn.
While it was always a diverse region, with Abkhazians living alongside Georgians and Greeks, Russian policies made the Abkhaz a minority here, and they encouraged the migration of friendlier ethnic groups to the coast, including Georgians, Russians and Armenians. Russia's grip on the South Caucasus would remain firm until the outbreak of World War I. In 1917, the war caused the Russian Empire to collapse, which sparked a brutal civil war, mainly between the royalist white movement and the communist Bolsheviks. What followed in the Caucasus was what experts like to call an absolute shitshow. Outside powers would try to gain influence, while local political factions would bicker over the future of the region. In Georgia, some leaders hoped to eventually reunite with Russia to regain a protector against their neighbors, but when it became apparent that the Bolsheviks would win the civil war, this idea was abandoned. In May 1918, Georgia declared independence, and its neighbors immediately disputed its territory.
Let's skip the
When it comes to
situation today,
Russian-Georgian
bro.
relations, things are complicated. Russian and Georgian politicians often loudly oppose each other on many issues, including Georgia's firm commitment to join NATO and Russia's actions in Ukraine, which Georgia publicly condemned as far back as 2014. However, things look a bit different in other areas, especially economics. After the war, both countries initially introduced sanctions against each other, but those began to be lifted a few years later, and their renewed economic partnership has since become pretty important for both. For Georgia, Russia is its second biggest economic partner, and Russians make up a significant portion of the country's tourists. And for Russia, Georgian products like wine and cheese are highly sought after, while trade with Georgia overall has become an important way for Russia to circumvent some Western sanctions, since Georgia has refused to impose sanctions. In addition, Georgia has refused to send any form of military aid to Ukraine, despite mounting pressure. This shows how complex the situation is in Georgia.
Smart, make
Here,
all the money.
some believe that the right strategy is a hardline stance against Russia, while others think that a normalization of relations is necessary for a peaceful solution. But if Russia and Georgia were to one day resume sincere negotiations, could there even be a reconciliation between Georgia, Abkhazia and South Ossetia? Well, in the case of Abkhazia, the issue may surprisingly be the easier one to resolve. Despite their complicated history, the Georgian side has signaled that they would be willing to accept high degrees of self-rule in Abkhazia if it was to reintegrate. The same cannot be said about South Ossetia. Many Georgians do not recognize Ossetians as native to the region, but see them as immigrants and agents of Russia. This is in part why in the early 1990s, Georgia abolished the autonomous status of South Ossetia and has since been reluctant to offer Ossetians meaningful autonomy, especially after 2008. This makes finding a compromise between the Ossetians and Georgia extremely difficult, but it seems unlikely that they will have to find one soon, as Russia is biting both separatist regions closer to it. Many South Ossetians would even approve of a Russian annexation, since it would mean unification with their kin in Russian North Ossetia. This begs the question, why hasn't Russia annexed both regions yet, especially when considering its annexations in Ukraine? Well, in Abkhazia, ethnic Abkhazians are not really interested in being annexed and prefer independence.
Yeah, we got it. We
Should
got
Russia
the answer.
proceed with the annexation anyway, it would antagonize the local population and maybe even convince some Abkhaz leaders to seek renewed negotiations with Georgia. All of this would create additional problems for Russia in a region they already basically control. In South Ossetia, annexation could even create unrest within Russia's south. The Russian Caucasus is home to many smaller ethnic groups that are hostile to each other, and peace is only maintained by Moscow's force. Especially the Ingush, who fought the short war with the Ossetians in the 90s, would be provoked in such a scenario, which could destabilize the entire region. Something to also consider is that the annexation of both regions would also remove a valuable bargaining chip with the West. The strategic importance of Abkhazia and South Ossetia for Moscow is fairly limited, but they could be valuable in future negotiations with the West. Russia could, for example, try to trade the two regions for a lifting of severe sanctions once the fighting in Ukraine stops, something that would be much more difficult if the
Okay, it has a super rich history, so I'm giving an 8. Really beautiful. Sad history, but it's super rich. The people is still there. Don't know about the ethnic cleansing part though. That's not that good. But hey, it's not bad. Wait, let me do this. Plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. All right. Beautiful. The political climate, I'm gonna give it a 3. Because it's kind of all they are is just pawns. They're not seen as a autonomous state, basically. Just everything there is contingent to Georgia or Russia, the West and the East. I mean, not the West, but still, it's sad. I don't like seeing that. Everything they do, everything is just. Are you pro Russia or are you pro Soviet? It's never themselves. Yeah, I'm gonna have to up this one to a 4 then. But this one is a 3. It's sad. Let me put this to a 5 then. It's really sad. The food. Let's take a look at the food. Wait, let me get the geography a 9 as well, because of the fucking beautiful land. Let's take a look at the food. Hey.
Okay,
Hey.
good morning. Wow, guess what? It's, I don't know, about 6:30 and I'm waiting for a bus that is going to take us to Abkhazia. So I'm just seeing, make sure I don't miss anything. Abkhazia is about 10 minutes from here. It's a breakaway republic of Georgia, and it's really not
we got an American right
recognized by,
here.
most countries in the world, so pretty much it's a non-country. I have to get a visa at the border. Don't even know if we'll get a visa. You can only go there, there's all these rules, but apparently if you join an official excursion from the Russian side, I can go across for 24 hours. So let's see how this goes.
It's the official document. It's me as the supreme leader giving scores to different states so they can strive to be better. You know what I'm saying? Damn, okay, let's take a look at the food, 1 second. Okay, the architecture is just different. Oh, I can taste it. Oh. Damn.
Okay, so
Should have
first
bought
and
some
foremost,
wine.
you have to exit Russia via the border, and then you obviously enter Abkhazia through their border. So I think that's where the interesting stuff begins. Now you have to have a multi-entry visa into Russia, otherwise you can't exit and leave. So that's also one of the other caveats when you're coming here, and you have to even inquire about the different type of
It is good.
visas when you're coming into Russia. So make sure you ask.
But we're talking about Abkhazia right now. Please refrain from talking about Georgia.
We passed the border. We went through the
You know.
Customs Customs control, and that was well pretty straightforward. I've got a multi-entry visa, and then I think it's because I'm on the tour bus. We got to the Abkhazian border, and then we just drove on through. So there was no stamps, no border control. It might be different on the way back. Might be different for everyone. Maybe it's because I was on a Russian excursion bus. Not entirely sure, but first stop is going to be Stalin's dacha.
Let me see if I need
he
that
had a few, and they were
visa.
kind of all over in Abkhazia, and we saw the one in Sochi earlier.
Ah.
Wouldn't you believe it? It's another bright green dacha. So of course here we are at Stalin's dacha, another bright green building on the cliff of the Black Sea. So it's really kind of great to see the views.
Okay. No way. Yo, this should look tiny.
This is bigger.
Damn.
Okay, so this is Stalin's garden, and these are
What the fuck is this? Yo, who are you trying to illuminate?
the lights. And the reason why the garden lights are so low is so they couldn't be seen from the road. So it'll still light up the garden. But you
Damn.
won't be able to see it from the road. They're kind of funny looking.
It is very funny looking. Look at that banana right there.
Pathway.
Yeah, bro, they trying to let the ants see the roads or some shit.
Abkhazia is stunning.
Damn.
Here's our tour bus, the yellow one. Okay, so that was the dacha. So now we're heading onwards.
И решили в Гагре построить русскую Ниццу, а в Сочи русскую ривьеру. Площадь имени Гагарина с левой стороны, а справа
Gagarin Square.
крепостного укрепления, 10 век нашей эры, Как речь?
Damn.
9 января.
Holy shit.
Как речь? Именно здесь.
Nah, this is the type of beautiful shit, man. Holy, it's just a fucking restaurant.
1903 года под гром пушек и фейерверк.
Nah.
Остановка на 15 минут.
15 minutes?
Минут 55.
Motherfucker, you need an hour there. Holy shit. Damn. Which ones? Oh, the palms? Hey, it's by the sea though.
It's just beautiful.
Holy shit. It's just a beautiful place.
Oh, this
Abkhazia.
is the beach. Oh, nice. Sign me up.
Hey, let me see.
Oh my goodness. It's like a vulture and an owl. There you go. So the beach looks pretty empty, but it's midweek and I guess tourist season's kind of over, but that's kind of nice. It's the pathway to the beach. So Gagor was supposed to be initially like the Russian Nice or the Soviet Nice, and then you had the Riviera. Russian
Yeah, it
Riviera
is not
was much more
native.
switchy. Well, obviously things didn't quite go as planned.
It's too far north. Damn. Yeah, what the fuck is
And some of this was so beautiful when it was made.
Palace of Culture? Holy shit.
Let's see what's inside.
Damn.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Architecture.
It's beautiful architecture.
Oh, it's such a shame some of these are just abandoned and kind of left to ruin. They're real architectural works of art. There's got to be a way that eventually somebody will save them. Just such a shame. Almost criminal.
It is criminal. Oh, yeah, motherfucker snuck in.
These are open. Ooh. Oh, ooh. Oh, wow.
Damn.
Once upon a time, let me tell ya.
It's gotta be
So
the
this would be
ballroom.
here. There's the box office.
Abkhaz. Damn.
Wow. Just incredible. Wow. Graffiti. It's already all falling apart. Oh, what a shame.
Ew.
What a shame.
Damn. Nah, he's gonna miss the bus.
Bad.
He's gonna miss the bus. Yo, walk faster, bro. You got 15.
What's this? This is another box office.
Damn.
Theater on this side. the ruins of the sea. Well, I'm only about 2.5 hours in. We've got a long day ahead of us, so at least I get.
Damn.
Когда-то здесь проживали, все отдалось за свои экскурсионные поездки.
Oh hell.
Okay, so this was designed to be the biggest, well, kurort in the Soviet Union by Khrushchev.
Yeah, I guess they planted the palms there because it's kind of like an elite resort area. This is where the rich go to vacation in the winter. So they're gonna make it more, you know, more like tropical type of situation.
Not that much of it left, but let's go see and explore what's here. We stopped here for lunch. Okay, definitely has the resort feels. Oh, it's great.
I mean, I don't really want to. Oh shit! Wait, let me take a look at the
we got
food.
karcho to eat. Okay, so I've ordered. You got karcho, which is the usual, and then this is khachapuri, called babahazki, and this is asibal. Never had this before. It's a sauce. Well, I just want to try it with my bread.
Yeah, give me a mukbang.
The lunch we're having here in Abkhazia.
Damn, motherfucker went alone.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, as you can see, Abkhazia is totally safe and absolutely beautiful. Great value for money. There are some complications for some to come on a holiday, but wow, like I am definitely wanting to come back here. This place looks incredible. Can't wait to keep exploring it. Okay, so it is a bit of a Soviet time warp, isn't it? Okay, well, what's up here? Let's have a look.
Shit. Nah, the Soviets spent a lot on the elites.
Might be.
Holy fucking shit.
Definitely one without air conditioning if it is. It is about 27 outside, so it's pretty warm.
That's good ass weather. Hey, W flag. Damn.
So here you go.
Yo, they gotta fix that
So
shit, man. This is a resort.
Wine and beer to fish, which Russians eat with beer on the beach.
Okay.
Giant donuts. There you go.
Let me see rubles.
Cigarettes. There you go. 250 rubles for a bottle of wine.
That's cheap. Holy fucking shit, that's like $2. Holy shit.
Coffee. There you go. Okay, so I'm running out of time, but Kitsunda is definitely a resort town that I want to check out again. This was really kind of cool. Apparently there's some kind of abandoned places around here to explore, but maybe that'll just have to be on another time and another trip. But definitely loved it. It was kind of really great. Gotta go check out the next place now. Here we go. Got homemade cha-cha. It's all the flavored homemade. Wow. It's like a vodka type drink. Got touristy things.
Yo, they drinking out there.
Clothing.
Holy
You're in a resort
shit.
town. Got the water shoes. That's a must when you're here in Abkhazia. Here you go. That's all.
Yo, they drink.
This is cognac.
Holy shit.
Cha-cha. Spices. They're known for their spices. These spices look great. Our break's almost over. Ready to continue. Our next stop goes super fast.
4 корпуса для иностранных гостей.
Oh, they're building new shit. Nah. Holy shit. This is... Damn. It's green. Oh, I'm gonna spitty out here. Holy shit. Nah, I wanna go. That's gotta be natural. It's what it looks like in the mountains, man. This is insanely beautiful. Like, look at, oh my god. Holy shit. Yo, they be drinking, bro. Everywhere they're selling just alcohol. I like that.
Okay, we've stopped here for some honey tasting and some Niedovucha, which is like a honey kvass type thing.
I gotta learn Russian next. And just pull up.
There's our guide waving. And of course,
More alcohol, bro.
Got it.
Holy. Ooh.
Bye-bye. Alright, so this is the honey for, well, crazy people in a better word. It's from the mountains, so it's like a mountain honey. You get it by horse only sometimes. It's so high up. Okay, so here we are. We've just did a honey degustation. Also, you might have seen
Nah, I really like that flag, bro.
I think the coolest thing in all the honey, well, they have eucalyptus honey. It doesn't quite taste like the Australian eucalyptus honey, which is, I suppose, expected. You have different flora and fauna here. But the best thing was the wild honey. And the wild honey, it's the one that will be like in a tree trunk somewhere. And you have to go and you have to get it, which is actually pretty cool. I've never seen, tasted wild honey like that. So, it's pretty good. I would definitely recommend trying. I guess they're kind of famous for Abkhazian honey. And now they've also got different wines and juices and...
I need more of the food content.
What's the other one?
Do better, man. What's your
I
name?
have no idea where we are, but
Do better, Peter. Yo, you call it the food adventure, bro? Motherfucker trying to drink. Holy shit. That's a generous serving.
There you go. Alright, so I'm going to try this Niedovucha. It's kind of like a honey kvass, is what he said. I've never had it before. Oh, it's very refreshing. Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, we know you're buying them.
It's kind of like kvass, maybe just a little bit stronger. Yeah, it's very fresh. It's totally doesn't really taste like honey. That was actually really interesting.
Holy shit, what the fuck is that?
Okay, so this is chacha with mint. So I guess that's stronger. It's almost like a liqueur with like a vodka-ish type. Oh, okay. Huh. Ooh, okay, it's definitely not the Niedovucha, but you can taste the mint.
Yo, motherfucker's speeding.
Nice and minty, but initially, whew, that burns. So here you got all the different wines of Abkhazia, I think. They've got the different grapes here that you've just never heard of. Okay, so that one there tasted like Welch's grape juice.
Nah. Holy. What the fuck? Yo, is there a gun?
Okay, so we've just stopped to a place called the Blue Lake. Now, it's not very big, but
it's a
apparently
pond.
It's about 50 meters deep, and the colors change from different blues, and it's apparently quite impressive. So let's go check out the Blue Lake. Don't get run over. And that's right, it's not very big. Oh wow, look at the colors.
Damn.
Oh, peacocks. Of course there's peacocks here. 100 rubles for a photo.
That's $1. Holy shit. That's beautiful.
Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to wash your hands and face. Some people drink it, but we've been recommended not to drink it. So let's go. Oh, it's freezing cold. That'll wake you up. That's beautiful. I think the world's smallest lake, probably the world's smallest and deepest lake. What are they selling here? An amphora. Okay, so this is it. You can have.
What game is that?
Hey people, Seth here. After a long and healthy life, my old microphone now sounds like this. So, I had to put it
Soviet
down. And I got a
survival
condemned
simulator.
wildlife that wants to kill you. Why did you come here? No one knows. Thousands of men serving hundreds of interest groups have come before you. What makes your ideology any different? Some claim they want to contain it, others study or even protect it from the outside world. In truth, there is no single rational answer. We have no reason to be here, but we're drawn to it, fascinated by it, and afraid of it. But no matter what, we can't resist its siren call. Welcome to the Zone. The Zone, while physical in the games, is more of a metaphorical concept. The Zone represents our anxious and often fatal curiosity, our hopes and dreams, and ultimately, our darkest desires. Rumors of the Zone spread throughout our planet.
If I'm playing this game, bro, it's kind of scary.
And bizarre artifacts that defy our understanding begin to...
Holy shit.
Beautiful fresh water.
Damn. It's not too crowded. Kind of like that.
И поэтому всегда малюсенького дождичка достаточно. Начинаем. Мы заезжаем в Юбшарский каменный мешок. Под ногами 400 метров над уровнем моря. Над головой с обеих сторон.
I'm gonna give the food a calm 6. I feel like unless motherfuckers start showing me some real food. Oh, let me take a look at this.
Service. The roof leaks, and it's old. The Arctic. This is out now because my knees are showing. Because my shorts don't cover my knees, I'm gonna have to wear one of those aprons. That
Damn.
Without. Okay, so I've got my
green screen
apron on.
skirt.
I'm good to go inside.
Okay. Oh,
Okay, so I was told to try the Mama Liga.
Mama Liga.
National dish of Abkhazia. So it's like a cornmeal bread with cheese, and then you dip it in this bean.
I don't know.
I haven't tried it yet. And then you also
They're
eat
eating some
of these
medieval
things,
shit.
Abkhazian purple cabbage, which is flavored with spices and beets. So I'm gonna give this a try. It's the cheese. That's the Mama Liga, I guess, and that's the bean. And then that's this stuff is super. Stay tuned for a recipe for this. It is so good. This is a hit. I'm loving it.
Ooh.
Eat this with your hands. I think I got an extra piece of cheese because I'm from Australia. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you, kind kitchen ladies. The cheese. It's really good.
Damn.
Mama Liga is quite bland. It's like a bread. And then you just, the flavor comes either from the saltiness of the cheese when you dip it in to the bean, but also when you finish it off with this, the kapusta. It's perfect. Now, our guide said that people have land here for generations. And the reason why is they bury their loved ones when they die in the land. So you're never going to sell the land. Why would you buy someone else's land that has some strangers buried on it? So you kind of have this land intergenerationally. It becomes your land, which is, I thought, kind of a cool idea. But obviously they're not living in little apartments. They all have bigger blocks of land, and you know, a hectare is even better.
Holy shit.
Okay, so onwards to New Athos Monastery now.
The monks are living good.
Well, we're going to call it a bus, and that's going to take us to the top, up there, to where the monastery is, because we're not going to walk. So it's going to cost 100 rubles to go on this really open-air bus all the way to the top. Okay, we're going.
Damn.
We're getting closer. Wow, look at the view. I feel like the Beverly Hillbillies coming up in this truck to the monastery. Well, we're here. Let's have a look. Ooh. Okay, I've lost my tour guides. I better go get them.
Damn. Oh.
Wow.
Nah.
I wasn't expecting this.
Nah. Yo, the monks living too good, bro. What the fuck?
It's got an interesting history. It was obviously the original Athos is in Greece, where there's quite a few monasteries, including a Russian Orthodox one. But
Dude, there's wind in my ear.
built one here
Peter.
on the Black Sea. So he obliged, and then it kind of grew and turned into this. Then the communists came over and they closed it all down. And then now it's kind of slowly being
Bobby Tree.
redone. But there you go. It's quite incredible to look at.
What's that?
Again, I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think I was expecting this.
Oh, you just named a random Chinese dude? Holy shit. Holy fucking shit, bro. Nah. What the fuck? Yo, there's like someone behind. Oh, why are you looking at me like that? Damn. Holy shit. Damn. That's gotta be some real gold over there, bro. Holy fucking shit. Yo, somebody fix this, bro. They got shit ton of money.
Wow, that was really nice. Slowly some restoration is happening.
Okay.
But, Here's a fun fact. You can film inside the church, the walls, everything you can see. You can't take a selfie inside because you can't see yourself. So that's just, yeah, so you can film it, but there's no
Yeah, that's
selfies
fun.
inside the church.
And making some weird rules like that.
But I think that's kind of cool.
Holy shit. Damn.
Okay, so the views outside here are incredible. Honestly, it makes you think you are in Greece. This is truly a new Athos. Absolutely beautiful. Well, we're gonna have to walk down to catch where the bus is. And where we're gonna be walking is called the best way I could translate it is Alley of Sinners.
Oh.
And so you walk down. You can walk up that way too, but that's really hard. That's why we took the funny Jeep bus looking thing, because it was faster. But we're gonna walk down the Alley of Sinners.
Yo, is that shame scene from Game of Thrones?
That's incredible.
Damn. Yo, the Soviet elites know how to party, bro. They know what's up.
Eucalyptus. Those look like mushrooms. Certainly they can't be a mushroom chinchilla. Abkhazia chai. There's Abkhazia chai again. So I guess that was the Alley of Sinners. Kind of walking past the marketplace where they sell things too. Lots of spices and stuff.
Damn!
Now
Holy
we're
sh!
off to
That's it for the cave?
one of the,
Okay, good.
gotta find out for sure. Biggest, deepest caves in the world? Something like that. Huh. So deep we take a train inside. Huh. I'll find out more in a minute. Wow, look at that.
Yo, Disney ain't got shit on fucking Abkhazia, bro. Disney ain't got shit on them.
I forget, you have to pay for your phone. So if you want to film or bring your phone in the cave, you have to pay an extra 100 rubles, I think.
That's $1.
Bring cash. So not the deepest cave in the world, but one of the top 10, I don't know how to describe it, most cavernous cave? I don't know, we're taking a train into it, so that's pretty cool. I've never taken a train into a cave, so there you go, I've got my ticket ready.
Yo, they got the machine, but it's broken.
Budu zasnímat.
Holy shit, is this their bunker?
Oh, wow.
There's gotta be a bunker. Oh, that shit kinda creepy.
Okay, it's 26 degrees outside and it's about 14 in here, so everyone's grabbed their jumpers and their sweatshirts. So it's kind of cold.
Damn. Oh. Nah. They got a 10 for the geography, bro. Holy shit. Did I put a 10? Holy. Oh. Six cave halls? Shit. You wanna find some gold in here, bro? Holy. Oh, hey, that's too fast.
Well, that concludes the cave journey. 1.5 kilometers underground. It's actually a much larger system. That's all that we are.
I can't play Minecraft, bro. That shit makes my head dizzy.
Cave, which is pretty cool. Probably a one-off.
I can't play games that move around too much.
A cave in the world, if you know. Please let me know in the comments. But I love all the Soviet art that's here. Definitely a lot more Ladas here. I just saw a Lada taxi, like 1982 Russia, Soviet Union. And the toilets, well, you know,
What the fuck?
just as you kind of would expect.
Oh, it's one of these. Man, I hate these, bro. We got a shit ton of these here, too. Damn.
Okay, so this is it. This is the last. It's a wine, cheese, and meat tasting. Let's see what this is like.
Yo. Holy shit. Nah. How is it so cheap?
За столом можно выпить смело 15-20 стаканов такого вина. Все хорошо в организме усваивается, голова не болит. Ноги всего лишь не ходят, ноги отдыхают. Сегодня очень, можно сказать, праздничных дней в Абхазии, да. Через пару дней, именно 30 сентября, мы празднуем День Победы. Все вы знаете, за какую победу я говорю. Сегодня день освобождения гордости. 407 дней.
Hey, double freedom. Damn, yo, this shit kinda nice. When is this? Damn. Damn. That's sad.
Okay, so what makes the wineries different here is that they just pour out of the barrel in the wall into like a plastic bottle for you. Here you go, here's the liter, they sell it by the liter. You taste it, they fill it, you go. But if you want to also get the fancy
Yo,
bottles,
this just makes me wanna drink, bro. Holy shit.
and they can hold indefinitely. So these are like gifts that you would give for weddings, things like that. So it's kind of a whole different type of wine culture than what we would kind of have out west. This is all handmade. All these jugs are made by hand.
Yo, whose babushka is making all this,
A
bro?
little more, but what a great gift. Something fancy.
Damn.
There you go. They fill it for you and I'll bottle
Yo,
it
can I
for
have
you.
one, please?
Seal it.
Yeah.
Good to go. Okay, so
I don't need the cheese, bro. Just give me the fucking wine. Yo, what the fuck that donut sneak in there for? That's it? A day?
Okay, so now I'm back to where we started. It's been a really long day, and I'm pretty tired, but it was absolutely worth it. Now, if you want travel advice on how to go to Abkhazia, don't ask me. Check the websites, ask the embassy, ask lots of questions. My experience was very smooth and easy. I came from the Russian side and I had a multi-entry visa, not a double entry. Excuse me, that worked for me. Might be different for you, so just do lots of inquiries. But
this is a very powerful video that I watched last night. Don't even need to watch the whole thing. It's just...
There are bits of land that are somewhat disputed.
This lady.
Очень приятно, спасибо. Я корреспондент, я сделал репортаж на Абхазия.
Очень приятно.
Да?
Конечно.
Как...
What the fuck is all that, man?
Обстановка нормальная.
Да?
Конечно. Отдыхают люди.
Да?
Да, ну, сказать, что проблем нет в Абхазии, тоже неправильно. Есть проблемы, как везде, как бы в всех государствах. Не везде сладко. Ну, нормально живем, хорошо. Люди к нам едут, нравится. Хотелось бы, конечно, больше отдыхающих. Ну, может быть, немножко хромает сервис, но это тоже будет.
Ага.
Вот, так что я бы сказал, что нормально, люди довольные, живем хорошо.
Да?
Море чистое, воздух свежий, природа прекрасная, много зелени вокруг, видите.
Вы местные?
Конечно,
Да?
конечно,
Ага.
а чё?
Очень приятно.
Ну, конечно, спасибо вам большое. А вы англичанин?
Я
Простите.
американец.
Американец, ой, тем более очень приятно. Потому что моя сестра родная живет в Америке, в Нью-Йорке, кстати.
Да?
Да.
Как вы чувствуете? Это хорошо, если иностранцы, американцы или...
Nah, this guy definitely drank some fucking wine, bro. He drank that good wine. Already is.
Вы знаете, мы всем рады.
Да?
Вся Европа пусть видит, что Абхазия была и есть и будет Абхазия. Вы
Amen.
понимаете, весь мир сюда приезжал.
Ага.
Когда был Советский Союз, кого здесь только не было. И американцы были, и англичане были, и французы были. И все прекрасно жили, всем нравилось.
Ага.
И все прекрасно себя чувствовали. У нас очень красиво. Вы видели Абхазию?
Я только здесь 2 дня.
2 дня? Ну, вам больше понравится Абхазия. Надо озеро Рица вам посетить, Новоафонскую пещеру. У нас очень красиво. Мы не последнее место вообще в Советском Союзе занимали по приему гостей. У нас, когда еще был Советский Союз, здесь было очень-очень много санаториев, базы отдыха. Хотя оно и сейчас есть, но все правительство здесь отдыхало. Весь ЦК, КПСС, когда еще был, да, все здравницы были здесь. Все чины здесь отдыхали. И до сих пор дачи правительственные сохраняются.
Ага.
Вот с тех времен еще существуют. И прекрасно люди посещают.
Озеро Лица, ты сказал, что это?
Озеро Рица – это вот такая легенда огромная. Озеро Рица отсюда от Гагры километров 40 в горы.
Ага.
Прекрасный пейзаж, красивая природа,
That's beautiful.
шикарное озеро. Там просто, как сказать, райский уголок.
Ага.
Райский уголок. Если вы еще не посетили, надо было вам туда обязательно поехать.
Ага, хорошо, может быть, мы будем. Может вопрос? На Европе и США, они не знают много на Абхазии. Каждая карта там, Абхазия, каждая карта сказала, это Грузия. Как
Вы знаете, Абхазии, Грузии не было. Абхазия была как Абхазия. Она
facts,
всегда существовала самостоятельно. Вот когда был старый Иберия у власти, они насильственно Абхазию присоединили к Грузии. Понимаете? И вот с тех пор идет, конечно, резня была. Было очень много недовольства. Годами. Это не сейчас вот война и все. Люди выживали здесь. И в сталинские, и беревские репрессии были, школы на абхазском языке закрывались, нельзя было на своем говорить языке, понимаете? Это вот все было здесь, это под нажимом.
Это до 21 года, если я не ошибаюсь, Абхазия уже была самостоятельная республика. Она входила в 16 республик. Но сейчас СССР нет, все республики распались. Вот мы просто как бы союзная республика. История возвращается, понимаете? Была республикой, она и сейчас тоже становится республикой. Я осталась республикой. Нас, конечно, Россия признала. Большое спасибо Владимиру Владимировичу Путину, что он очень много старается делать для нашей республики, не дает нас в обиду. Нас мало, но мы люди одержимые, мы за свое можем постоять, и войну мы выиграли. Мы чужое не хотим, и свое тоже не дадим, понимаете? И так что вот так. Правда, было сложно, было тяжело, война была, граница была в свое время закрытые, что, ну, туда нам уже ничего не надо, мы туда и не стремимся, и никогда не стремились. А сюда, конечно, Россия помогает нам все, и в плане экономически помогает, поддерживает, пенсионеров поддерживает, наводит быт наш, старается улучшить. Ну, тяжело, может быть, мы небольшими шажками идем к цели, но мы идем, мы стараемся, мы любим свою республику, любим гостей, хотим их всех встретить. У нас абхазское гостеприимство, мы этим всегда славились. И славимся. Пожалуйста, я даже вас сейчас могу домой пригласить. Так что вот так вот. Очень приятно, что американцы уже интересуются нами. Американцы, конечно, это держава сильная.
This auntie works in the fucking
Пусть о нас
government,
знают
bro.
больше. Что мы гостеприимный народ, миролюбивый народ. Мы любим людей, мы не смотрим, кто какой национальности. Нам главное, чтобы они были добродушные, любили Абхазию, стремились к нам, и мы тоже стараемся встретить по нашим обычаям. Большое вам тоже спасибо. Удачи вам всем, вашему народу. Что вам еще сказать?
Это интересно, как вы сказать, на язык, потому что до войны был проблем, не могу учить.
Да, это было. Сейчас, конечно, Абхазия свой язык имеет, государственность, герб, парламент.
И до войны Грузия не хочешь вас...
Ну, Грузия что? Грузия, естественно, как было и во время войны сказано, что здесь он потерял золотой зуб, понимаете? Вот как говорят. Потому что здесь было все. И здесь экскурсии, здесь туризм, здесь, как его, чай. Ну, тогда и чай был, табак, цитрусы. В общем, всего здесь было. У нас, понимаете, в Советском Союзе люди здесь трудились, работали. Наше производство, вот, допустим, чай, он был на экспорт, на расхват был абхазский чай. Samsung такой был, сорт табака, это вообще в мире нигде не было. Вот единственное, здесь этот Samsung добивался. И вот здесь выращивали, здесь растили, здесь сушили, здесь тюковали, понимаете? Все это было производство здесь. И вот этого, к сожалению, сейчас этого нет. Война, как видите, все инфраструктура полностью разрушена, но восстанавливается. Понимаете, 14 августа в 92 году люди все отдыхали, никто не думал и не ждал, что здесь будет война, понимаете? Летний сезон, люди все отдыхают, не поймут, в чем дело, что случилось. С воздуха бомбы падают, с моря стреляют, с суши стреляют. Вот так вот внезапно война началась, и было очень много горя принесли, конечно, пострадало очень много народу. Все было выжжено, и до сих пор только восстанавливается Абхазия. Все разровняли. Представляете, столько орудий и с неба, и с воздуха, с суши. Вот очень было, конечно, скорбные такие даты у нас. Но мы выстояли, выдержали. Мы будем и дальше жить. Еще нами будут многие государства завидовать, что мы не потерялись. Нас мало, но мы в единый кулак. Вот, понимаете, мы ничего чужого не хотели. Мы И свое нам дал Бог такую сверху возможности, чтобы мы свое сохранили, понимаете, чтобы извне враг не забрал у нас. Хотя говорят многие, что, понимаете, это Грузия, но надо хорошо историю читать, надо все открывать, понимаете. Если бы в то время не Сталин, не Берия, а были бы другие, допустим, лица, ну, естественно, Берия, Сталин, они больше тянули свою сторону. И вот поэтому как бы получилось так, что у них все было в руках, и они смогли это все спокойненько всему миру показать, доказать, как будто бы Абхазия была Грузией. Но Абхазия всегда была Абхазией, она и остается. Так что вот так. Есть сложности, но мы духом не падаем. У нас есть правительство, у нас есть президент, у нас есть парламент. Они работают, они будут тянуть Абхазию, и народ будет здесь счастливо жить, и все мы будем в мире жить. И того всем желаю, чтобы никогда нигде войны не было, чтобы все люди жили и были счастливы. Понимаете, мир один, небо одно, нам нечего делить. Земной шар, планета одна единая. Нам Бог дал возможность жить на этой планете, и мы обязаны жить мирно, понимаете? Вот эти амбиции, которые есть у руководителей, вот это, конечно, неправильно. Понимаете, амбиции должны быть в сторону отложены. Все должны работать только на благо народа, и люди должны все друг друга уважать. И мир будет без войны, и природы не будет против нас, понимаете? А последнее слово будет за природой. Нам надо и Вселенную любить, и людей уважать. И каждый у себя, где Боженька выделил уголок, они будут все счастливо жить. Вот вам, вот так я могу сказать.
Спасибо большое.
Большое вам тоже спасибо.
Спасибо.
Ну, приезжайте к нам, зовите американцев, такой природы, такой красоты нигде в мире нет. Они должны воочию сами убедиться, что Абхазия государство самостоятельное, это страна.
Okay, that's a short ass video. I'm gonna give the food a 5 for the wine, bro. Let's see what they got. Endemic species. Okay. Ooh. Okay, look at some cool birds. Ducks. A lot of fucking birds. Ooh. Okay. I like the animals there. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, it's crazy millipedes. Oh, hold on now. What the fuck? Hey, yo, there's a face. Holy shit. Oh, hell. Okay. Damn. Ooh, they got these motherfuckers. I'm giving them a quick 9. Damn. Oh, it's the same score. Damn. Holy shit, that concludes. Wait, let me finish it with this one. That concludes the Supreme Leaders Tour in Abkhazia. Let us enjoy once again this beautiful national anthem. Damn. Crazy. Beautiful song. Beautiful. Tomorrow we'll head to Afghanistan and we'll examine it post US invasion.